roles, and sense of self-importance. It thrives on separation and comparison, seeking validation and control. In relationships, the ego can create patterns of conflict, misunderstanding, and emotional turbulence as it constantly seeks to assert itself or defend its identity. The ego tends to view relationships through a lens of self-interest, focusing on what it can gain or protect. This creates a dynamic where partners may feel the need to compete, prove themselves, or guard against perceived threats. The ego craves recognition, and when it doesn't receive it, feelings of resentment, jealousy, or insecurity can arise. These emotions often lead to conflict as the ego struggles to maintain its sense of superiority or protect itself from vulnerability. Tolle teaches that much of the suffering in relationships stems from the ego's need to control and its inability to be present. The ego creates a sense of separateness, making it difficult to experience true intimacy and connection. Instead of seeing the other person as they are, the ego views them as a means to fulfill its own desires, leading to patterns of judgment, blame, and dissatisfaction. To create healthier, more conscious relationships, it is essential to recognize and transcend the ego's influence. The ego and the pain body. Another important aspect of the ego in relationships is what Tolle calls the pain body, a collection of unresolved emotions, past hurts, and negative energy that the ego clings to. The pain body is often triggered in relationships, particularly when past wounds are activated by a partner's actions or words. When this happens, the ego's emotional reactivity takes over, leading to arguments, misunderstandings, and emotional distance. The pain body feeds on conflict and drama, seeking to reinforce its identity through emotional suffering. In relationships, this can manifest as holding grudges, bringing up past issues, or projecting old wounds onto current situations. The ego uses the pain body to keep us stuck in patterns of blame and victimhood, preventing us from truly healing and growing together with our partners. To create conscious and healthy relationships, it is essential to become aware of the pain body and how it operates. By recognizing when the pain body is activated, you can begin to step out of the ego's emotional reactivity and approach your partner from a place of presence and understanding. Healing the pain body requires mindfulness, self-awareness, and a willingness to let go of past hurts in favor of genuine connection and growth. Transcending the ego through presence. Tolle teaches that the key to creating healthier relationships is to transcend the ego through presence. Presence is the state of being fully aware and engaged in the present moment, free from the mind's incessant thoughts and judgments. When we are present, we are no longer operating from the ego's need for control, validation, or protection. Instead, we connect with ourselves and others from a place of authenticity and openness. In relationships, presence allows us to see beyond the ego's illusions and experience true connection. When we are present with our partners, we are not projecting our own needs, fears, or expectations onto them. We see them as they are, without trying to change, fix, or control them. This creates a space for deep intimacy and understanding, as both partners can show up fully without the barriers of the ego. To practice presence in relationships, it's important to cultivate mindfulness in everyday interactions. This means listening without judgment, responding instead of reacting, and being aware of your own thoughts and emotions without letting them control your behavior. By bringing presence into your relationship, you create an atmosphere of acceptance, trust, and compassion, allowing both you and your partner to feel seen and heard on a deeper level. Letting go of the need to be right. One of the ego's most persistent tendencies in relationships is the need to be right. The ego is deeply attached to its opinions and beliefs, often equating being right with being worthy or superior. This need to be right can lead to endless arguments and power struggles, as both partners fight to defend their perspectives and prove their correctness. Tolle emphasizes that the need to be right is one of the biggest barriers to creating harmony in relationships. When both partners are focused on winning an argument or proving their point, they lose sight of the bigger picture, the health and well-being of the relationship itself. The ego's desire to be right often comes at the expense of connection, leading to feelings of frustration, resentment, and disconnection. Letting go of the need to be right requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing disagreements as battles to be won, you can approach them with curiosity and openness. Ask yourself, is being right more important than the relationship? By choosing to prioritize understanding and compromise over ego-driven conflict, you create space for healing, resolution, and deeper connection with your partner. Creating space for conscious communication. Healthy relationships are built on conscious communication. Communication that is free from the ego's need for domination, control, or defense. Conscious communication involves listening deeply, speaking truthfully, and being aware of the emotions and energy behind your words. Tolle teaches that when we communicate from a place of presence, we can express ourselves clearly and authentically without the ego's interference. To practice conscious communication, start by becoming fully present when speaking or listening to your partner. This means setting aside distractions, quieting the mind, and giving your full attention to the conversation. Avoid interrupting or preparing your response while the other person is speaking. Instead, listen with an open heart, without judgment or assumptions. When expressing yourself, be mindful of your words and the energy behind them. The ego often communicates from a place of defensiveness, blame, or criticism, which can create tension and distance in relationships. Conscious communication, on the other hand, comes from a place of vulnerability, honesty, and respect. By being aware of how your words affect your partner and choosing to speak with kindness and clarity, you foster a deeper sense of trust and connection. Practicing acceptance and letting go of control. The ego thrives on control, especially in relationships. It seeks to mold others to fit its desires and expectations, believing that happiness can only be found when things go its way. This need for control creates frustration and conflict as partners feel pressured to change or conform to each other's demands. Tolle teaches that true peace in relationships comes from practicing acceptance and letting go of the need to control others. Acceptance means allowing your partner to be who they are without trying to change them to fit your idea of what they should be. It involves recognizing that each person is on their own journey of growth and evolution, and that they have their own unique experiences, perspectives, and ways of being. By accepting your partner as they are, you create a space of unconditional love and support, where both individuals feel free to express their true selves. Letting go of control also means releasing attachment to specific outcomes or expectations in the relationship. The ego often creates rigid expectations of how things should unfold, leading to disappointment when reality doesn't align with these ideals. By letting go of these expectations, you can embrace the relationship as it is, allowing it to evolve naturally and with greater harmony. Cultivating compassion and forgiveness. Compassion and forgiveness are essential qualities for transcending the ego and creating conscious relationships. The ego often holds on to grievances and judgments, making it difficult to forgive or move forward after conflict. approach your partner with empathy and understanding, even when they hurt or disappoint you. It reminds you that everyone is on their own journey of growth and that mistakes are part of that process. When you practice compassion, you are less likely to react from the ego's need to defend or attack, and more likely to respond with kindness and patience. Forgiveness is also a powerful tool for releasing the ego's hold on past hurts. Holding on to resentment only strengthens the ego and keeps both partners trapped in a cycle of blame and pain. By choosing to forgive, you free yourself and your partner from the weight of the past, creating space for healing, growth, and renewed connection. Building conscious relationships. Creating healthier, more conscious relationships requires a commitment to transcending the ego and embracing presence, acceptance, and compassion. Eckhart Tolle's teachings remind us that the ego's need for control, validation, and separation can create barriers to true intimacy and connection. However, by cultivating mindfulness and awareness in our relationships, we can move beyond the ego's limitations and experience deeper levels of love and harmony. Conscious relationships are built on a foundation of presence, where both partners are fully engaged in the moment and aware of their thoughts, emotions, and actions. By practicing acceptance, letting go of control, and communicating with openness and honesty, you can create a space of mutual respect and trust. Compassion and forgiveness allow you to move through challenges with grace, deepening your connection and creating a relationship that supports both partners' growth and well-being. In the end, the key to a healthy, conscious relationship is not to eliminate all conflict or difference, but to approach the relationship from a place of presence and love. By recognizing the ego's influence and choosing to transcend it, you can create relationships that are grounded in authenticity, connection,